Hi guys, it's Haley. Welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I do have another horror review. Like I said, I'm going to be pumping quite a few out throughout the fall. So stay tuned for that. But today's review is going to be on Pearl. Pearl is actually the second installment of X, a movie that actually came out earlier this year. And spoiler alert, I don't really know that it's a spoiler because I knew prior to seeing the movie, there will be 3 installments of this series. The next one is going to be Maxine. I don't remember or if they even said when it was coming out, but I already knew this information, although it does say it at the end of the movie as well. But hopefully me putting that out there isn't like spoiling anything, but yeah. So I saw X earlier this year and I did not do a review on it, and I will, I guess, kind of just sum up why. I didn't really like X all that much. I had really high hopes because everyone was saying it was such a good movie, and I really didn't like it. At first, I feel like it just made me really uncomfortable, but as I settled with it more, I just thought it was kind of a stupid concept. And it's not that it didn't make sense, but it just felt so out of left field and really, for real. I caught myself many times during viewing it, just turning to my boyfriend, who I was with at the time, in the theater, and I kept being like, really? Like, for real? That's what's happening? I couldn't believe the direction the film took. So you're probably asking yourself, well, why did you go see Pearl if you didn't like X? And number one, if a movie was worth watching, or I think it looks, interesting enough to watch the second one I'm going to. And X was interesting enough. Although I didn't like it, I didn't regret viewing it. It kept me entertained, and it's an experience that I wouldn't necessarily take it back. So that's the first reason. Second reason is the trailer for Pearl looked a lot more interesting of a movie than X. So I was actually pretty eager to see it, and I will say I did enjoy Pearl a ton more than X. I don't want to say that I loved the movie. I wouldn't even say that I necessarily liked it, but I enjoyed watching it. Is it a movie that I would enjoy or want to watch a bunch more times? Probably not, but I don't regret seeing it. So sorry, you guys. My camera died. I'm sorry. Anyways, so I was saying I don't regret watching it. I don't feel like it was a waste of $13 or anything. There's been some movies that I didn't like so much that I'm like, give me my money back. No, I enjoyed watching it. I don't regret it. In fact, watching Pearl, I do feel like made X a little bit better because you kind of know why the woman who is, Pearl in X is kind of like this. It gives you a little bit more of her backstory, although I found this was executed a lot better than X. They do feel like 2 completely different movies. X feels very slashery, and this one feels more psychological and more build-up, very, very on brand for A24. X didn't feel like an A24 film to me. And that's not even the reason I didn't like it. Honestly, I feel like I was really intrigued because of the slasher aspect, but I didn't like the direction that it took. Whereas this, I do like. I like the storyline. I like the uncomfortableness of the film and her backstory more so. I like how it focuses on her and her mom's relationship and kind of the resentment and all of those things. But I feel like I wanted more. This movie definitely left me wanting more, and not in the perspective that I need a new movie, but I feel gypped of the time in this movie. I feel like they really, really focused on some scenes, and they added a little too much time on certain scenes that I don't feel like personally needed it. Obviously, they do feel that way. That's why those scenes exist or were so long, but there's a scene where they're waiting to go do their audition. That scene felt, oh my God, it felt so long. I caught myself looking around the theater because I got bored. Whereas there's scenes I feel like we needed longer time to watch happen. And I know why they did it. I feel like you're supposed to feel that anxiousness and anticipation that they're feeling, and that's why it feels so long. But I don't think it was cool that they did it. Like, it wasn't like, it didn't feel needed to me. So I just feel like some time that they spent in certain scenes, they could have spent better in other ones, if that makes sense. The biggest complaint I do have with this movie is the kills were terrible, and I don't mean like the execution of the kills was bad. I mean, it did that stupid shit where it shows a kill and it flashes away while the kill's happening. Like the screen isn't on the kill anymore. And for an A24 film that I know has, has the money, it's not money-wise that we're not getting these kills. I felt really robbed and I felt gypped of them. And some people will think this is a stupid complaint because there's people who are like, oh, I don't like gore, so I don't like the kills. I do, but it also just, it feels cheap. I don't know. Like, it feels like, what? Could you really not, do some special effects to execute that? Or why were we robbed? And at the end of the movie, it does show a little bit of that. Like, it shows her, like feeding someone to an alligator. And that was cool, but even more so reiterating to me, I want more of that. I wanted to watch more of that in this movie. So visually, as far as horror elements, you're not going to get a whole ton, if I'm being honest. Just something to know walking into this movie, but it is more of a psychological thing. It's more so just, why is this girl as messed up as she is? It's kind of what you're figuring out. And I didn't mind that. I really didn't mind anything story-wise. I thought it was a much better story and much more interesting than X. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this probably a 6, and a strong 6, which is, like, a little better than average, I would say. Sorry, this hair is driving me nuts. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Anyways, stop this nonsense. Anyways, it is better than, average, but not super high up on the list. Would I want to rewatch this movie a bunch of times? Probably not. I do see why people really like this movie, though. I know it did so well. A lot of people were saying it was our favorite movie of the year and a new favorite. And although I don't feel that way, I get why people would. This movie does have a lot of depth. So, do I recommend you watching it? Sure, absolutely. If you have like $20 or less that you want to kill and go watch a movie, why not? I think it is worth the watch. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it. I don't have a ton to say, but I did want to make a review because this movie is one of the biggest releases of the year, at least anticipation wise. I feel like everyone was really eager for this movie. So I will say I kind of stand in the middle with it. I liked it more than I didn't like it, though. I will definitely say that. So that concludes my review of Pearl. Let me know what other movies you want to watch me review, or if there's any movies that you're just really looking forward to, let me know in the comments down below. As always, my social medias, all that stuff will be linked, so give me a follow on all of the stuff, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. I love you so much.